Today I need to paint some of this Georgian window and windowsill, or technically it's Regency. I found this new paint in Screwfix. This is LickPro. I thought I'd do a little bit of a test and review and give you my opinion as a professional DIYer. Because after all, I'm no Phil Beckwith, the professional painter and decorator. If you need any painting advice, go and check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description. I'm just going to talk you through exactly what I've used on this windowsill and a bit over here. Just in case it helps you. This Ronseal high performance wood filler. This is 2-part. I have had aggro in this with this in the past where I didn't add enough hardener and it just totally cocked up. For a high adhesion primer, because I went through to the wood, I used this. This is Cover Stain Primer Sealer and Stain Killer. That worked quite well. Obviously spraying it around the edge. This is where it was all cracked. I use no nonsense anti-crack acrylic. The reason why I went for this is because it's the quickest drying satin paint available in Screwfix. I don't believe that there's many more that are drying quicker than this. There's, I think maybe a Crown might do one, but Dulux and no nonsense, not anywhere close to this. So I'm hoping, if that needs another coat, well, I've had enough of painting. I'm like decorating everything. I just want it to dry quick, so hopefully I only get away with one coat on this because it's relatively, it's white anyway. I used a oil-based Dulux SatinWood before. I don't particularly like water-based ones. I've used a Dulux one in the past and it run like a fucker. Now these windows, they're over 200 years old. So, I mean, they're a bit rough. They're not perfect. So I don't have to do everything perfect. You see where I've filled in that. I mean, that's not perfect by any means, but as long as it holds it together, they need to do the outside. They're gonna have scaffold up here in the next couple of months. I'm not sure about the windowsill, whether this is original, because it was kind of like furry board. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what type of wood that is. I've got a little bit of furriness here. That here. I don't know what this is going to be like. We're going to obviously pop it off. I'm going to go with it. We're not going to water it down or anything, because after all, we're not professionals. We're DIYers. We're professional DIYers. As in, we're not professionals, we don't have a trade, like we don't do this day in, day out. We're just gonna go straight out the thing. I've got a Harris Trade brush. I don't know whether it's gonna drag. I don't know whether the brush marks are gonna show. I don't know whether it's gonna flow into itself nice. But for all intents and purposes, it should dry very, very quick. And that's what I need so I can carry on and paint the walls, because I've already done the ceiling. Nice and white. Yeah, suspected as much. Didn't need mixing at all. I'm going to do the actual sash first before I do the sill, so I'll be able to give you more of an opinion. Obviously, once I do the actual sill. We're just going to whack it in. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to lay this off here anyway. It does seem quite running. I wonder whether that will lay into itself. Okay, quick update. It started all right. You can't lay it off. You especially can't go back to something that you've just painted like 1 minute later. So obviously I went all the way across here, done all these bits, then done this bit, and I caught that, and you can see the brush marks. So normally you whack it on and then you're supposed to like lay it off with your tips, and it should lay into itself in theory. The nice paints do. I know the oil paints do, but yeah, it's quite a task really. So maybe I need a better brush, or maybe it's just, it needs watering down a little tiny bit. So I'm just gonna whack this sill out quickly. and then I'll show you. I'll give you my opinion whether them brush marks are still there. It looks like it wants to stay there, but okay, we're done. So you should be able to see that. So you can see the brush marks. I mean, it's kind of all right, I know, but the thing is, but this is the first part that I've done. It's okay. It's okay. If that was oil, that would have laid into itself like easy. I'm going to say that's acceptable. I don't know whether adding some water would assist that, but it is quite runny in itself. Like down here, I've got some drips. I'm just going to leave it. I reckon I'm just going to go with the one coat. I think that's good enough. It's supposed to be touch dry in an hour, so we will test that. I can't test the recoat because I've not recoated it. So, yeah. It's all right for water-based paint. I still not, I just... Has anyone made the change yet? Are you still stuck on oil-based? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I mean, if I was spraying it, it would be flat, wouldn't it? I wouldn't have any brush marks. Right, it's an hour later. I mean, it is 24 degrees in here, so it probably would have dried earlier anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's bone dry. I mean, that's not too bad, is it? I've probably done better there. Maybe I've done the paint thicker than over here. That's a bit more. You can see it a bit more. I don't know whether you can see it or not. Well, it's definitely done what I needed it to in terms of how quick it dries. And in theory, I could probably give it another half hour, 40 minutes or something. I could probably give it another coat. I'm not going to bother on this occasion. But it definitely performs the way that I would expect it to in that sense. It's just whether it's just a flowing out. Overall, it's a thumbs up from me on that product. I'd like to know, what products do you use? What have you found in terms of painting woods where you just think this is the absolute bee's knees? I reckon I'm probably going to use this because you can spray it. I might spray my skirts by the time I get to, well, if I ever put my skirts in the lodge. I'll probably end up doing the ones in the house first of all, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.